I'm going to use returner, as in who? Who is our returner going to be? We all love Andre Roberts, and we all wish the Bills paid him to keep him around. But then again, maybe he didn't want to stay, regardless of what happened. I ask who, guys? Who's going to take this spot?
I'll lead off here. Andre Roberts. I want to call the Texans, offer him like a third or something. We made a mistake. Bring him back. Jokes aside, I think we won't know this answer until we get further into training camp. But if I had to answer right now, I'm going to say McKenzie. But I also think that this is going to become a two-person job. I think you're looking at McKenzie on punt returns and maybe Matt Breida doing kick returns, but that would also involve having the extra running back active on game day. I don't think it's going to be the one roster spot that it's been. And if it would be one person, I would say Marquez Stevenson. But I think that they were trying to give him looks at returning punts, and if there was any glowing reviews about it, it would have leaked out. So I would I would like different options, but I'm gonna say McKenzie and Breida.
Now, I said I wasn't going to sing, but the second you said that, the first thing that came to mind was, "Hello, darkness, my old friend." Like like you said,
we got a song.
I want Andre Roberts back. That's what I want. I'm not happy with going into the year without an established player in that spot. So for me, I think there's a very, very reasonable chance that you have split duties. I think there's a very reasonable chance it's Isaiah McKenzie for punt returns and Marquez Stevenson for kick returns, or some combination of the like. So for me, unless it's Powell, I think there's a reasonable chance there's separate parties for punt and kick returning. And I don't like that either, because if you thought having Andre Roberts as a return man doing both punt and kick was a waste of a roster spot, let me introduce you to having two people do it, because it's about opportunity cost too. Can I interest you in having two people do it? One of whom you have to make sure you have active on game days, and that limits your ability to be able to do other things. So for me, I'm in a scenario where unless it's Powell, I think there's probably two people. I think it's probably McKenzie and Stevenson, or it could be McKenzie and Breida, but Breida it's not like he has a wealth of kick return experience. I think if you want to find a way to get that speed on the field, but your 1A and 1B are kind of well established, I think there's a possibility it could be Breida. I don't know.
I will say I was one of the guys that was previously upset about holding a whole roster spot for just a return specialist, and I was wrong. And
you saw the light, is what you're saying.
I did.
Yes,
I did. Too late.
Well, what was that Andy quote from The Office again?
I wish there was a way for you to know you were in the good old days before you left them.
Remember that, Justin. Put that. You know what? Take down that faded atlas behind you and put that quote on the wall.
I need it.
And when I think of, all right, hypothetical situation. Let's say, we call up the Texans. We're like, hey, we want Roberts back. We'll give you John Feliciano. You swing that trade or what?
Yeah, I would do so much more than that. I would give up an unreasonable quote-unquote value pick to have Roberts back on the team.
But he's only got a 1-year deal.
What do you call it? Like a 4th-round pick? Let's do it.
What about you, Bruce?
I think it's that important. I'm sorry. I paused. I think it's that important, not just for the stats and the yards and the returnability that he had, but kind of the underrated factor of his smart decision-making, his ability to consistently field the ball clean. And with a team like this, I don't want the chance of a fumble or anything. I don't need punt returns for touchdowns, because if I give the ball to Josh Allen, we have a good chance of scoring on that drive anyways. So my biggest priority in the return game is making sure Josh gets the ball. So maybe I should say Micah Hyde's the punt returner, but I don't want to see that either.
What about you, Bruce? Do you swing that trade?
I probably don't, just because. I mean, what a mishandling of assets to let him walk and then trade for him back. I mean, I think the national embarrassment would be enough for me to not be interested.